Hello and good evening. I'm Melisa Idris.
And I'm Sharaad Kuttan.
Welcome to Consider This, the show where we want you to consider and then reconsider the news of the day. Let's begin, shall we, with news that the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission has launched an investigation on Datuk Sri Tengku Adnan Tengku Mansor, or better known as Kuttan. Now, this was after it was revealed in court that the former cabinet minister was once worth around 900 million ringgit. Kuttan is facing a corruption charge of accepting 2 million ringgit from businessman Chai Kin Kong, which he said 2 million ringgit was not a big deal because to him, Kuttan, it was like pocket money.
Extraordinary statement to make, especially at a time when a lot of people are having a hard time, just making ends meet on a daily basis.
Right.
Apart from that rather tone-deaf statement, I think it needs to be said, Melissa, that he didn't want this revealed.
That's
so
true.
He is a man who, in many respects, is said to be a successful businessman. He gets into politics. People who support him on social media say, well, chances are he made that money while in business. And so what's extraordinary is why would he shy away from actually revealing this? He didn't want it revealed.
Okay, so it was said that Kuttan became angry when he failed to have his asset declarations as a cabinet member made behind closed doors in court. And now, it's been made public, and of course it's been picked up by the media and has made its rounds on social media. It launched 1,000 memes and several discussions about what they would do with $1 billion. And I have to say, it's quite interesting because if you look in the US, Michael Bloomberg, in the Democratic primaries, he's a well-known billionaire in politics. And the question is, what is the difference now in terms of, is it shameful to be rich and successful? And I'm just posing that question.
Right. So the question is, in many other contexts, if you're a billionaire, that's a reason for people to follow you because they think you know exactly what needs to be done. You can manage a company, you can manage a business, and so on and so forth, right? So it's not so much about bragging, but it's just acknowledging who you are and what you are. Of course, there are people who do think that billionaires have an inordinate influence.
Well, okay, what
should not have an influence.
What is the
over
difference
politics.
here? The difference should be if that money was made before an entry into politics versus if the money was made whilst in politics. Is that right?
Absolutely, and I think that's what the investigation will try to determine. I think that's where there's concern because we shouldn't be making money from politics or from the positions that you hold while in office.
What do you think, Sharaad, of the conversations that we're seeing with this pocket money comment and the chatter on social media? What do you make of that?
Well, this is a man who's launched, 1,000 memes, right? That's what we're all kind of joking about. And I wonder, of course, at one level, there is both a fascination about our political elite and the lavish lives they lead. Kuttan is not the only one. Recently, a leading figure in UMNO had much commentary spilled about his house slippers and furniture but also his
and
slippers,
the watches that he wore.
Right, his Louis Vuitton slippers, and so there's a kind of that, and I think part of it, Melissa, is the weapons of the weak, as it were, right? So when you have nothing else to say,
mockery.
It's mockery,
it's the
right?
weapon
What
of the
else
weak.
do you have? You can mock your politicians because
really
they seem to have all the cards in their hands. They are powerful. They're rich. They seem to be able to manipulate public opinion to their advantage, and then they do exactly what they please when they're in office. So this is, of course, what happens. But I think, on the other hand, the question about Kuttan's statement is, again, comes back to the troubles that we are in now, and the economy and wage stagnation.
Yeah.
In the face of that, somebody saying, well, what is 2 million? It's a drop in the ocean. I wouldn't be corruptible. I couldn't be corrupted over 2 million ringgit.
Especially in this day and age, that feels very tone deaf to me. All right, well, let's move on to other news. SPM results were released today, and it turns out the national average grade had improved in 2019 compared to 2018, and more students have scored straight A's in 2019 than the year before. According to Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, these results are proof of the effectiveness of our education system.
Yeah, I
Is it
mean,
really? Would you consider that proof of the effectiveness of the education system? And I have to say, based on this comment, I would then like to break down what that means. What does an effective education system entail?
Yeah, well, there's that too. I mean, what is quite interesting about our results process is that not only do you get the results, I mean, on an individual basis, kids get their results and their parents either weep or cry and do wail or, or send them back to their
parents are wailing.
Of course, parents are always involved in exams. But I think what's more important is the kind of analysis that the ministry produces as a result of, this particular process. And they're saying, well, what we see is a change in levels of or certain permutations in terms of results. And I think that is interesting, but I agree with you. The overall assessment that this is already a triumph of our education system perhaps is a little too quick and too easy to make.
Agreed, especially as if we look a little deeper, dig a little deeper, the results show a slight decline in the ability of the SPM candidates last year to apply the components of HOTS, which is the higher order thinking skills in answering exam questions. So HOTS includes synthesizing, analyzing, reasoning, comprehending applications, so critical thinking skills, and that showed a decline, which is, I think, a red flag that we should pay attention.
Also, Melissa, I think the issue is whether governments are the best assessors of the CIS process, or in fact the market is, because at the end of the day, employability is a function of whether kids have real skills, not certificates. Certificates anybody can give out. I can give out all A's if I wanted to in an exam system that I ran. But would that be of any value in the real world, in the marketplace? Would it actually reflect genuine skills?
Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and after this, take a closer look at how youth empowerment organization Undi 18 have responded to the recent political crisis. Stay tuned to consider this.